As we advance in the modern manufacturing world, more and more complex cells sometimes are involved in the production process. One common thing is what we're seeing is to have more and multiple robot units connected, especially when we need to build larger parts. When we create bigger welds, it is very common that we have to split it into multiple sections. Programming part of the process geometry inside of FASTSUITE has always been possible, but now we are enhancing this functionality way more to allow you to have interconnectivity between different sections of your process geometry, to be able to modify this on the fly and adapt to the different units or robots of your system by splitting the pege and connecting operations.
So this is our example station. It's a one large welding part that has to be manufactured by two different robots. Each one of them has to take some part of the welding process, and at the top we can see we have one large weld, then we're going to divide in between both of them. With the robot number 2 selected, I'm going to click on the process geometry and I'm going to shorten the part that I want to be programmed. Then I'm just going to simply confirm and I'm going to have a little bit of a shorter path. In order to reach the first point, I have to modify the external axis of the robot until we can reach the first point. Once we confirm, we can verify that we can reach the entire path. Then I'm going to go to my programs and change to the robot number 1. Here I'm going to go back to my program process geometry. In where we will have available now is a new panel. If you don't see it, you can simply click in the empty and select the little gear, and we will have here the option to connect process geometry. When enabled, you will see if you try to program the same process geometry again, the start will be connected to the end of the part that is already programmed. If we program and confirm, we will see that now there is a different visualization and the beginning and the end of the process geometries. Now both of them are connected together. We can check this by going to the events and teaching the robot so we can reach the beginning of the toolpath, and we're going to move the axis so we can reach the entire section that we are programming. Since I cannot reach the end of the toolpath, what I can do is modify the beginning of my process, make it a little bit shorter, and since they are both connected, I can still be sure that however much I modify this robot, whatever part of the toolpath that is missing will be covered by the second robot. Here now I can see my entire toolpath is within reach, and I can come back to my original robot and then modify the external axis so I can reach the entire section of the toolpath that I have programmed. Now the last section has been modified slightly, therefore I have to adjust my external axis so I can reach that last section that has been now taken care by the robot number 2. With both robots programmed and taking care of their own section of the process geometry, we can run the simulation. And what is important here is that we're generating this connection in between the different units. So we're making sure that the entirety of our process geometry is always covered by one unit or the other. This can of course be modified, so we can at any point when we don't like this anymore, come back to our process geometry, disable our connection in between process geometries and simply drag and drop to separate one from the other. If we re-enable the connection mode, then we can see immediately the paths that are outside our own, and we can reconnect by just dragging and dropping in the top of the other one. So this can be very useful for applications when we have multiple units, and it works in everything, laser cutting, arc welding, and all the technologies that we have available. But this can also be useful for applications where we have only one single unit. For example, in this laser cutting machine, we can have one big part that the router control might be needed to process in more than one section. So we can split it using this same process, change the beginning and the end, and connect also the beginning and the endings. If we then program the second one, we will see the connection live with the possibility to modify it at any point in between and modify the program, as well as we can play it to see how it can go first one side and then the other. So this can be used for one unit, multiple units, and all the technologies available in FASTSUITE E2.